TV tonight. The central government has called for a comprehensive review of the genetic engineering regulatory bill to incorporate other aspects like the medical biotechnology away from only crop engineering. According to the Minister for Science and Technology and Innovation, Dr. Monica Musenero, the regulation will guarantee acceptance of such products at the international market since they will meet the international standards. We also do know that Dr. Musenero made the remarks while officiating at the opening of the 5th annual National BioSafety Forum, which runs from the 21st all the way to the 23rd of June this very week.
The forum focused on the success in biosafety stewardship and explore how this is related to science, technology and innovation and regulation for sustainable industrialization. The forum participants include representatives of regulatory authorities, research agencies, academia, among others.
This forum arose out of the need for a platform where scientists working in the field of modern biotechnology would interact with peers and also with the biosafety regulatory authorities.
In her remarks, the Minister for Science, Innovation and Technology, Dr. Monica Musenero, underscored the urgency of widening the scope of the areas covered by the Genetic Engineering Regulatory Bill as technology continues to evolve. President Museveni declined to assent to this bill, commonly known as the Genetically Modified Organisms Bill.
But a lot of fears which were raised can now be addressed, but also the scope has widened. Then we're talking about this bill in terms of plants only. But now we are manipulating microorganisms. We are manipulating animals. We have the technology. We have the science. What we need is now an enabling law.
In conjunction with stakeholders, we have responded to some of those queries. But I think the most important thing is that the bill also has taken so long and it has expired. And now we need to look at it into more detail, incorporating now the new technologies such that when probably it is redeveloped, it's much more encompassing, it gives more assurance, it brings in more coordination, and of course it ensures confidence within the stakeholder community, either the farmers or the consumers.
According to Dr. Musenero, the need for advancement in medical biotechnology also necessitates this regulation, hence the need for the bill.
We want to use gene therapy to treat diseases like sickle cell, like hemophilia. So there are so many diseases that we want to treat using gene therapy, and that also requires genetic modification. So the regulation framework, and that's part of what I've emphasized for this meeting, that we give time to discuss that bill so that by the time we take it back, it addresses today and tomorrow, not yesterday.
Dr. Musenero also believes that if regulated well, technology is an important vehicle to economic development. She emphasizes that unless the country participates in generating its technological content, it will remain a dumping ground for foreign technology, which it has no control over.
If we sit on the edge and say, that one is not for us, we are not going to accept, and we don't want to learn, we will be left again in the ashes, in the ruins of history. We must be stepping, whatever is emerging, we must begin to think, okay, 5G is coming. Sitting here in religious righteousness and saying 5G is wicked, it's not going to help us. Because eventually it is going to come. And we who are against it, we will be using it.
Are we okay now? Ali Mivole, NTV.
Well, today the Uganda National Council of Science and Technology held the 5th Annual National Biosafety Forum with the objective of building on experience and also successes in addressing the need for regulation in advances in research and technology. The forum also intends to explore linkages between biosafety policy and key national development policies and also plans. To explain further why all this is so crucial, we have here in the studio Dr. Martin Ongol, the Executive Secretary of the Uganda National Council of Science and Technology. A very good evening, Dr. Martin Ongol. It's been a while since we last talked.
Sure, it has been a while.
Glad to have you on NTV tonight.
That's true, thank you.
And indeed, just to get on the same footing here, I would like to know why we need such regulations in such a wide and evolving area, such as technological research, but also covering biosafety and also biotechnology.
Thanks. First of all, as you know, we are in a situation where the world is changing rapidly. And of course, one of the drivers or the new ways of combating some of the national and global or regional challenges is through science, technology, and innovation. And when you're talking about science, technology, and innovation, you are moving from the known to unknown. And of course, there is also that aspect of uncertainty. So we want to make sure that these new technologies or innovations that we are working on gives outputs that are safe, especially to either the humans, the environment, or the ecosystem. And therefore, we need a regulatory mechanism to support our research and development process.
Indeed, Doctor.
Yeah.
And also, let's talk about the genetic engineering regulatory bill. The Minister for Science, Technology, and also Innovation, Dr. Monica Musenero, made it clear that we need to actually urgently widen the scope of the areas covered by this bill. What does she mean by that?
Yeah, so the previous genetic engineering regulatory bill focused mainly on the plant sciences, that is mainly the crops. But then within these last 3 years, there have been tremendous changes. And actually in the Ugandan context, we have identified new areas where we need to apply biotechnology. As the Honorable Minister mentioned, there are aspects like in the medical area, like gene therapy, which has been proven to be a very effective technology, especially for treating diseases like sickle cell. And of course, once applied, you end up finding out that it's cheap. We also have some research which is going on in mosquitoes, especially modified mosquitoes, to help in controlling the wild mosquitoes. And of course, we have research going on in the anti-tick vaccine. And of course, the emergence of gene therapy, gene editing, and the like means that we need to widen up the scope of the bill such that it's much more inclusive and encompassing.
That is fair enough, Dr. Martin. But the President, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, in the past has actually, yes, downplayed the importance of such a bill. He has struck it down or dismissed it twice. So what are the chances of you establishing an all-embracing law that will regulate such a moving target, such as technology, Dr. Martin?
Thank you. We know that this bill has taken a very long period of time, and a period of over 12 years or so. And of course, it has been passed by the Parliament twice. And of course, His Excellency on both occasions did not assent to the bill. But I think this last submission he raised some pertinent questions. Indeed. And one, of course, in protection of our indigenous knowledge. There were aspects regarding safety of the environment. There was also that aspect on intellectual property and benefit sharing. And we have hope that if we address these questions to the extent that His Excellency can be satisfied, and of course bringing in these new advances which will support our economic transition and of course improving the livelihoods of Ugandans. We are very hopeful that this time we shall go through. It's like doing the exams for the third time, and this time we know that...
and you're going to pass this time round. That is Dr. Martin Ongol. Many thanks, sir, for having made the time to acquaint us with this wealth of information regarding such a crucial subject within this country.